Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So it looks like the crypto market is still on a roll. Right now the market cap has added quite a bit, holding now at 241.9 billion. And guys, you can see that number up here. And over here, Bitcoin dominance is slowly creeping down. So Bitcoin has only gained about 2.64%, which is par for the course for Bitcoin at this stage. It's trading at 87.67 approximately. But guys, look at all the rest of the altcoins. So you can see some of the big movers, Bitcoin SV. We've got Dash at 50%. So Bitcoin SV 81.34, Dash at 50.08. Ethereum Classic 30.29. Now, not to say that those are necessarily better investments. I'm just pointing out the bigger movers, and that's what's pushing Bitcoin dominance down. Right now, XRP trading at 0.237 cents, up 7.36%. Quite a healthy increase. And guys, if we go to the chart here, we can see XRP on the hourly. And the reason I'm bringing it up on the hourly is to kind of show you what's going on in the moment. So yesterday we hit a high of about 24.5 cents. Came right back down here to about 22.6, now trading at about 23.6, okay? But this is looking positive to me. I think we're going to continue with this uptrend so long as we don't kind of go below this level here, I'd say, 21.9. I could see us realistically moving. I mean, okay, so we could continue momentum upward, but that would be dependent on Bitcoin. Or we could kind of meander, maybe go down a little bit and then right back up again, just depending. And that might take, 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. It's all really kind of up in the air at this moment in time and very dependent on investor sentiment with regards to Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin on the hourly, and guys, you can see same kind of trend, okay? We saw some downward momentum, then some upward momentum. The upward momentum's looking fairly strong. I think that we're going to continue to see a rally similar to what we saw back in May. So I just put Bitcoin on the daily, guys, and if you don't remember, back in, not May, April. So the beginning of April was when we saw the bull run start, and then we saw some consolidation, then another sharp move up, more consolidation, and another sharp move up. Well, this consolidation, in this particular example, occurred from April 2nd to April 30th. So that was an entire month of consolidation after a sharp move up. And we could realistically see that, not saying that it's going to take a month, but it could take a week, 2 weeks. I mean, it could take 5 days, or yes, it could even take a month. And until we really reach this 10,000 or 9,500. I think when we break this zone here, I mean, let's make it very conservative and put it right at the top here, 10,300. I think after that mark there is when we can really expect to see some staggering bullish movement after that. And today's January 15th, guys, so I think the court is giving their ruling on that XRP. Is it a security question in that court case where somebody was suing Ripple, whatever? That is today, but despite that, a new patent infringement lawsuit has crept up. So Ripple hit with patent infringement lawsuit. Crypto startup responds to the allegations. Now, this is a North Carolina-based company, Cooperative Entertainment, and they're suing Ripple for violating a patent that was filed on September of 2013 and approved in August of 2016. The patent describes a node-based network designed to power peer-to-peer content distribution. I thought OpenCoin was founded in 2012, so that would predate the September of 2013 patent filing, first of all. Nevertheless, let's continue here. The present invention provides systems and methods for peer-to-peer dynamic network and or subnetworks for the file distribution between peers receiving the same content. In particular, any instance of large data file distribution to recipient peer nodes is considered within the scope of the present invention, including but not limited to video file distribution, game content distribution, large data files, and combinations thereof. Any packet and or stream of the data is ordered correctly and delivered in a timely way is considered the content for distribution within the peer-to-peer dynamic networks and or subnetworks of the present invention. So that is their definition of that. And they claim that Ripple's payment technology, including its use of XRP, violates the patent. Little shaky, I think, especially since their patent wasn't actually approved until August of 2016. We can go back to the OpenCoin documents, but this is not a legal channel. I'm not too interested in what's going on. I am very, very confident that Ripple has a team of lawyers working around the clock on these frivolous lawsuits, but just wanted to bring this to your attention because it is news and it does have to do with Ripple and XRP. Don't know how much water this argument will hold. Also saw this. So the fate of XRP, top US regulator tackles question on the third largest cryptocurrency. So Heath Talbert, the new chairman and chief executive of the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, says his agency is focused on creating a market for digital assets. So ultimately, he spoke about Bitcoin and Ethereum and how they are two digital assets that fall under the jurisdiction that we already know. Here's a quote from him. By allowing them to come into the world of the CFTC, we're allowed the futures market to develop based on these products. And in that way, when people are interested in purchasing a particular digital asset of the two, Bitcoin and Ether, they can rely on the futures market, which has been around for over 100 years, which have price discovery, hedging, and the risk management. And in so many ways, it's helping to legitimize, in my view, and add liquidity to these markets. So he's promoting the futures market, something we haven't seen in cryptocurrency up until lately. And, then he was asked about XRP and, what the fate of XRP will be. And he says, it's still unclear. Stay tuned, I would say. Part of the issue is our jurisdiction we share with the SEC. If it's a security, it falls under their jurisdiction. If it's a commodity, it falls under ours. So kind of not really giving us too much information there. He goes on to say, so we've worked closely with the SEC over the last year or so to really think about which falls in what box. Because if I hear anything from the market participants, it's that we really need clarity. Dun da da da, hit the nail on the head with that remark. He says that without clarity, it's really difficult to figure out how these will eventually be regulated and how to trade them. So still no answer on that. We are going to be waiting for that answer and to see. Although many people in the space talk about this and they say, well, if it is deemed a security, that's so bad because, now we're holding unregulated securities. Just look what happened to EOS. And then I saw this and I thought this was kind of interesting. This from PhDJ at PhDJ does tweets. On Twitter, he says, XRP community, for the sake of argument, okay? I really don't see this to happen. But what if XRP were to be a security after all? Okay, the XRP price would go to zero. But instead of hodling XRP, you'd be owning securities. Must be worth something too, right? Any thoughts? So, a few people chimed in here. Samy's buddy wrote, by the way, EOS's price did not go to zero after being deemed a security, nor will it. Their price went down along with the rest of the market, no more. I don't know who is suggesting XRP's price will go to zero, but it's way off base and I would consider that to be FUD. PhDJ responds, but after EOS deemed a security and a fine having been paid, it still remained a security for now, correct? Alazon111 on Twitter responds, it could be worth something and even a lot, only if the qualification as crypto security has not a bad regulation legal impact on how XRP is distributed and used by the various actors, and by extension an impossibility for Ripple to drive its business. Samy's buddy responds, as we've seen from another crypto deemed a security, EOS, there's nothing more than a small fine assessed as a penalty. Worst case, this $10 billion company pays a small fine. So guys, think about it. You're holding XRP. It certainly holds value in some way, shape, or form. And what these guys are essentially discussing here in this mini tweet thread, which I will post in the description if you guys want to enter the conversation, is that whether it is deemed a security or not, the fact of the matter remains XRP has a purpose. It will hold value down the road. Now, what they're talking about, or part of what they're talking about, is will that impede XRP? Will that impede Ripple, rather, to do business with XRP? That's a good question, and I think that the cryptocurrency regulation really will address this, and I think that that's why they're waiting. I don't think that they want to jump out and say, this is this is that right away. I think for ICOs, it's very, very clear that certain companies were trying to raise money through ICOs. They wanted to really stop that. Bitcoin, Ethereum, not so much. Those fell into a different category. XRP, though, I think maybe they could even classify it in a third category. Something they come up with that's completely different, that is particularly meant for cryptocurrencies that will be used within certain sectors, maybe the finance sector. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawmaker. I'm just speculating on all this. But it is a very interesting discussion, and we really do have to wait and see how it all shakes out. And I know you guys heard about this yesterday, and the Pomp tweeted about it, breaking. Visa just announced they are buying Fintech Plaid for $5.3 billion. Incumbent financial services companies are going to spend the next 3 to 5 years buying up various fintech startups. If they don't, the startups will put them out of business. So a very strategic move by Visa. And so here's an article with regards to Brad Garlinghouse response on this. Ripple CEO responds to the Visa acquisition as community expects strategic moves. So Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse was one of many in the crypto community to comment on the latest development. Tweeting soon after news of the acquisition broke, Garlinghouse claimed that he was unsurprised by the announcement. He went on to add that more consolidation will take place in the fintech and crypto industries in 2020. And so we got a tweet from Brad Garlinghouse to this effect: not surprised to see this kind of consolidation and expect this will set the stage for more to come in 2020 in fintech, crypto, and beyond. So this with regards to this exact acquisition, the Visa buying Plaid acquisition, $5.3 billion. Boy, Visa's got a lot of money to throw around. As if the Earthport purchase was not enough, but Visa wants to cover all their bases. See, this is an example of a company that really wants to be relevant in the coming decades. They realize they have to innovate, and they realize what they have to do in order to keep moving forward. And guys, I was saying this in yesterday's video about that stellar collaboration with, LightNet. Okay, there are going to be many people in this space, and acquisitions are gonna happen. Ripple is a $10 billion company. They have the money to acquire other small fintech firms, and so I think they will. They've already made a strategic investment in MoneyGram, and I think that was smart. But I think, as Brad Garlinghouse even puts it, more will come in 2020, and we're just setting the stage, essentially. So who will be next? Who is going to be next on the list? Who has been talking to some of these big companies about a potential acquisition? And has Ripple been on that list? Has Ripple been talking to more CEOs of other companies other than MoneyGram in order to expand their reach as well? One last thing I wanted to point out here with regards to the new Plaid acquisition. This from K. Kyriakopoulos. I hope I pronounced that correctly, on Twitter, and he points out here that Dan Morgan, okay, so this is a screen grab from his, a LinkedIn, is now the policy lead for Europe for Plaid, and was once the head of regulatory relations in Europe for Ripple. So an interesting connection there. And so I don't know if you can see it up here, Dan Morgan. It's kind of cut off a little bit. But people are moving around, right? This is fintech. This is technology. People tend to move from company to company fairly quickly. And I forget who said it. I think it was King Solomon on Twitter. I just remember reading it today, that if you want to get paid more, your smartest bet is to move from company to company every 3 to 4 years, give or take. It doesn't happen all the time, but for these big positions, for these big players, there's big money on the table. There's a lot involved, so very interesting, guys. I'm interested to see how all this shakes out, and I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.